Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the March 31st edition of Carolina Week.
A new plan is in the works to help keep UNC students safe on campus before tragedy strikes.
We'll introduce you to one alum who helped pave the way for minorities here at UNC.
In sports, the basketball team goes down to the wire yet again, and the baseball team looks to get a struggling offense back on track.
Weathercaster Joe Belanger will tell us if these warm temperatures will stick around through the weekend.
All that in one local parade that's for the birds.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
A killer took former student body president Eve Carson away from us more than 2 years ago. Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Lamb.
And I'm Chris Neal. Thanks for joining us. Now attorneys for one of the men accused of the crime is trying to get evidence thrown out. Lawyers for DeMario Atwater claim his behavior during police questioning stemmed from police abuse during the arrest. His attorneys want to prove that Atwater felt he had to make certain statements during questioning. And if they do, the judge could throw out evidence from the interrogation. The Durham chief of police says this is the first he's heard of any abuse, and in the 2 years since his arrest, Atwater hasn't filed any complaints. Atwater faces charges in both state and federal court, and if convicted, he could face the death penalty. After the tragedies at Columbine and Virginia Tech, students need to know how to react during a campus shooting. The third anniversary of the Virginia Tech massacre is approaching, and campus leaders want to make sure Carolina students and faculty are prepared for a similar disaster. The Department of Public Safety is offering the Shots Fired on Campus program, an emergency training course in case of a shooting on campus. UNC already has precautionary systems in place with the emergency sirens and the Alert Carolina notifications, but the Shots Fired program teaches students how to react in active shooter situations.
Students are still buzzing about the new stricter Dean's List GPA requirement. Before, students taking 15 credit hours needed just a 3.2, but now they have to have a 3.5 to make the list, no matter how many credit hours they're taking. There are mixed opinions among students about the new requirement.
I mean, we're not here so you can get on the Dean's List just for kicks and giggles. I mean, you have to work for the Dean's List, so hit the books and bring your GPA up.
I'm a little more intimidated now, but I think it's doable. It wouldn't be till my junior year, definitely, that I'd be able to get on there.
It looks like students are going to have to study a little bit more and do fewer fun things like hunting for eggs this weekend to meet this new requirement.
North Carolina Hillel is celebrating Passover a little bit differently this year. Carolina Week reporter Emily Bean takes a look at local celebrations related to this most holy of Jewish holidays.
Passover began Monday at sundown, and UNC students are celebrating the traditional holiday at the Hillel on campus. In past years, they have held a large ceremony with almost 250 attendees, but this year they're doing smaller seders within homes and apartments. Hillel member Jesse Stellini explained the significance behind the traditional feast.
All of the foods that we eat have special meanings, and all of the different parts of the Seder. Seder literally means order, so there's a specific order in which things are done during the meal.
While many celebrated with a traditional Seder Monday evening, the Hillel hosted a more relaxed gathering Tuesday night. They prepared traditional dishes to observe the holiday and watched Prince of Egypt to retell the story of the Jews' journey out of slavery. Hillel member Scott Nidich celebrated Passover with other students Tuesday night.
My favorite part about Passover is definitely the fellowship. In past years, pretty much every meal of the day there was somewhere to go to enjoy something, and the best part was always the people that were there.
It's that sense of community that makes Passover so special for Jews around the world. In Chapel Hill, I'm Emily Bean, Carolina Week.
This is also a special time for Christians who will be observing the Easter holiday this weekend in celebration of the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus.
Easter weekend means that Triangle Transit and trash collection in Chapel Hill and Carrboro will be on a different schedule. On Friday, Triangle Transit will be operating on a Saturday service schedule. In Chapel Hill, there will be no trash pickup on Friday, and the Orange County landfill will be closed. In Carrboro, workers will pick up Friday's trash during Thursday's collection. Curbside recycling will be on a normal schedule. We now know what sparked that fire that destroyed the Chatham County Courthouse in Pittsburgh last Thursday. The Chatham County Courthouse fire marshal announced yesterday that a construction worker accidentally caused the initial spark with a soldering iron. The windy conditions and the building's highly flammable pine timbers are the reason the fire spread so quickly. The courthouse was undergoing renovations before the fire broke out. Right now, it's unclear which parts of the building will be salvageable. The SBI will release an official report within the next few weeks.
New details have emerged in the death of UNC junior Courtland Smith. There are conflicting stories about whether Courtland spoke with the assistant dean of students for fraternity and sorority life a few hours before his death. Assistant Dean Jenny Levering originally wrote documents saying that she spoke with Smith by phone. Now she says she hadn't spoke to him since earlier that summer. Levering's office phone and cell phone records show multiple calls on the day of Smith's deaths, but none of the numbers are associated with him. In the near future, you can expect to see some big changes on Franklin Street. University Square on West Franklin will soon be a thing of the past. The developer plans to begin tearing down and rebuilding the office and commercial space beginning in 2012. The plan is to do the construction in phases so that existing businesses are able to stay open. They hope to finish the construction on those phases by 2014. The developers say the nearby Granville Towers will be on the slate for redevelopment, but that isn't likely to occur for at least another 10 years.
The UNC chapter of the NAACP will hold a scholarship contest for minority high school students tonight. It will be at 7 p.m. at Hitchcock Multipurpose Room of the Sonia Haynes Stone Center. The contest will be based on public speaking skills. UNC students are invited to attend and encouraged to bring a $3 donation to support higher education for minority students. Minorities have played an important role at Carolina dating back to the beginning of the university. Perrine DeShield is live in our satellite studio with a profile of one of our very first minority graduates. Perrine?
Elizabeth Karen Parker graduated with a degree in journalism in 1965. Her memories of her time here can inform and enrich us all.
Karen Parker never did blend in.
When I came here, my mother told me I needed to behave for the black students who would come after me.
As the first black female to graduate from UNC, Parker experienced a fair share of racism and discrimination. Parker transferred from UNC Greensboro in 1963 to UNC Chapel Hill, a place where she became a double minority.
They started yelling at me. What they were saying was racial, and what they were saying was sexual.
CABJ President Ayanna Allen said it was essential to have Parker speak on issues still relevant to students today.
And I hope they gained a history lesson of where we came from. And that's not just the black community, that's just the campus community, that's, the world globally.
Parker found refuge in the place where she laid her head every night.
Karen Parker made long-lasting friendships while she stayed here in Cobb Residence Hall and also used it as a safe haven and place to collect her thoughts.
A friend encouraged Parker to write a journal during her time at UNC. She donated the journal to Wilson Library in 2001, and page after page reads of monumental events. I went to jail again December 19th and spent the night. I was released the next day in time to go home for Christmas. Christmas vacation wasn't too good because of this. But a sweet surprise came out of Parker's Carolina experience. She still reunites with old hallmates from Cobb to this day, writes for the Winston-Salem Journal, and remains an advocate for activism and professionalism.
According to Karen Parker, UNC continues to make the right steps in the direction of diversity.
Perrine, why did Parker transfer from UNC Greensboro back in 1963?
Well, Elizabeth, at the time, UNC-CH was an all-female university, and women had to wait 2 years before entering a larger co-ed university.
Sounds like the times have definitely changed. That's Perrine DeShield live in our satellite studio. Thanks, Perrine.
If you love fresh fruit and vegetables, we have some good news.
Coming up, there's a convenient way to pay for food at the local farmers market.
Hey guys, this is my teenage friend Fred.
Rad! Hey pal, you want to pay attention to the road?
Relax, man, I got it.
Look, my man, if your bad driving gets me killed, you better hope you die too, or I will haunt you silly. And I'm not just gonna float over your bed like, woo! I'm gonna be making a more annoying noise, like, ah! And instead of wearing those long white robes, I think I'll wear something more form-fitting and upsetting. The other ghosts will look and be like, wow, we've never seen that before.
Let's go, man.
Hello, ladies.
Can you imagine your life without animals? Here at the Durham Animal Shelter, we can't. So come see us. Your new best friend is already expecting you.
Let's give it a shot. You can do it this time. I gotta get a real dog.
So, April. Yeah? You know your charger's still using energy when it's plugged into the wall, right?
Yeah, but that's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?